Yo, let's talk about food choices today. I'm getting many questions about how to do this diet, like how to put it together as an actual day of eating, things like that. I know everybody wants to see my day of eating. I will make them eventually. They are the most tedious parts of my trying to get together day. I just don't like, I like filming like this and then not having to film again. So like having to remember to film all day long just pisses me off. Not pisses me off, but it's it annoys me. And come on, Zig. But I will do it. And you're all gonna be very disappointed because it's gonna be like a bunch of chicken and rice and coconut water and sugar and something random. But whatever. I was gonna make a video on how I make chicken and rice because it's amazing to me, and it's really simple. It's all in the Instapot, and I eat it so often now that it's like a staple, and it's delicious. So I'll do that sometime soon. I'm also working on another book, which I don't know, it'll probably be a couple weeks because this one is going to be more thought intensive for me, having to figure out the best ways to lay it out so it makes the most sense, because it's kind of a troubleshooting guide in a way. It's going to cover more detail things like supplements, supplement timing, spices, condiments, food choices, food timing, gaming it for fat loss, muscle gain. I mean, the first one pretty much covered fat loss, but there's also nuance to that as well. Muscle gain, maintenance mode, that kind of stuff. It's more of like a troubleshooting and gaming the diet to your specifications type of guide. So it's going to take a bit longer for me to figure out the best way to lay that out, but I'm working on it, and it's gonna be cool. I got the cover art already, and it's a lot different than the first one. But I like it. It's more my style. First one was just a clean, polished, easy to go guide on how not to freak out when you're starting to eat a lot of carbohydrates and what to do. So anyway, I get a lot of questions about, Ziggy, come on. I get a lot of questions about how do I eat? I'm just drinking a bunch of fluids all day long, and should I eat sugar all day and then just eat one protein meal at night and things like that. And so I can tell you how I eat. It's very windy today. I hope that's not messing with the audio too much. But anyway, someday I'll buy a mic. Now that I got a little money from ebook sales, thank you all so much. Maybe I'll invest in a mic and maybe a tripod stand, or like a little tripod stand, so it'd make it easier to do what I eat in days and things like that. And I got some other videos I'd like to make too that are more like lifestyle focused, what I'm doing. Anyway, back to the subject. So what I do in a day is pretty simple, and it's pretty much every day, and it probably will change based on temperature. So like if it's colder outside, I'm probably not going to do as much as I'm doing in the summer. It'll change more to warmer things. I do find drinking warm or just keeping everything pretty warm in the wintertime, holy, it's loud, it's much preferable. And in the summertime, of course, I feel like I want to cool down. Yesterday was maybe 80 degrees and really humid, and I was just so hot. So I wanted everything to be cold and cool. I think I only ate one warm meal yesterday. So I always start my day hydrating, because I find that even though this diet is much more hydrating than the average diet, of course, with carbohydrates, it also ramps up metabolism, and so you're respirating more, you're breathing out more, which inevitably dehydrates you. You're also using more cellular energy and water and carbohydrates, so you can get dehydrated. It's a cool spot, beautiful spot. except for that thing. So you can get dehydrated at night because you're fasting, you know, for 8 hours or whatever. So now recently I've been waking up much more dehydrated than I normally would, which is a good thing, not a good thing, but a good testament that my metabolism is definitely higher than it was a few months back, because I used to never wake up that dehydrated. I mean, I did, but that was because I was on a low carbohydrate diet for a long time. But not like this. This is like, I know, I can feel like I want to just get a bunch of fluids in. I feel one thing you'll start feeling once you get, he almost knocks me over sometimes. Once you get into the zone of the high metabolism, fast burning mode, that you will deplete really fast at night. Because you can only have so many carbohydrate stores in your body, and once you're getting into this zone, your body is working a lot harder at night for detoxing, for cellular repair, things like that. So you'll be a lot more depleted in the morning. You'll also feel like you're a lot leaner in the morning. And so it's a good time to get in a lot of hydration. And the best way to get hydration in is with sugar and a little bit of salt, sodium, or electrolytes, because that will help retain the hydration you drink. So I don't think slamming a glass of water is helpful at all. I think you need to do a little bit of electrolytes and sugar in the morning with your fluids. So I used to start with juice with added sugar. Now I always have been starting with coconut water with added sugar, a good amount of added sugar, 50 to 100 grams. I don't measure it, I just have a scoop. I think it's a 100-gram scoop, and I just scoop. And sometimes I don't want as much, sometimes I want more. Doesn't really matter. And so I do that with a pinch of salt, and it's usually about 16 ounces worth. And I start my day with that every day, or I have within the last couple months, and it is perfect. I feel like immediately hydrated, immediately feel better, immediately feel energized. I mean, I'm feeling energized waking up, which is really nice, but I immediately feel like high energized, high energy. And sometimes I'll have it more after that, like in the next 10 minutes if I feel still drier, if my mouth feels dry, or whatever. If I just still feel like I want more fluids, I just get more sugar, more water, more coconut water, more juice, whatever, more liquids with more sugar, until I feel kind of topped up. And then I go for my walk every morning now. Every single morning I've made it my daily ritual to do this hour plus long walk. I've made time for it, which is really nice. It not only lets me, I think it's extremely beneficial for lymph node pumping, for just moving joints, getting fresh air, all those things, getting exercise. But it really lets my mind wake up, and it's actually made me sharper, I think, with these videos. I'll explain that in a second. Howdy.
How's it going?
Good.
Good.
If you go back to like some of the very first videos I did, I watched them a little bit ago, and I found that my speaking was a lot slower. And that was maybe just getting used to things, but it was also because my mind was slower. I was in a more, still coming off of low carbohydrates, getting into this, and I could just tell that I wasn't as on. And now doing this, not only does this walk and talk feel like it's making me sharper, but I feel like I'm literally talking faster and like free flowing faster, which is really interesting to me. So super important to me, super important to Ziggy. I think Ziggy loves the routine. Who wouldn't? When it gets to wintertime, we'll see how I feel about it, but unfortunately we have such a long winter. Anyway, back to the thing. I try to keep on topic, but I have a really hard time keeping on a really tight topic. So then I get back. I'm always doing breakfast now, like a bigger breakfast, because I'm a lot more hungry, and I'm really actually trying to get in more protein, because I am trying to build muscle now. It wasn't really my goal at first. At first it was just to lose the fat. Oh, sorry. He's really friendly.
Okay. Mine's a little skittish.
Ziggy, come here. Hey, hey. Sorry. Ziggy, hey, hey. Quit being rude. Sorry about that.
No problem.
That's usually never happens where somebody comes running around the corner with a dog. I'm always able to sense when a dog's coming before it gets here. Skittish dogs. Anyway, I always am having a big breakfast now with protein every time because I am starting to work out more and I want to get bigger, I want to get stronger. I'm having all this energy and I want to use it, and protein is necessary for that. And as much as people are worrying about getting too much protein to stall their fat loss, protein is essential for muscle building and muscle synthesis, which is muscle retention. And retention is key to fat loss, is key to high metabolism. The higher the metabolism, this is always scary when he's walking on the edge. The higher the metabolism, or the higher the muscle mass, lean muscle mass, the higher the metabolism in general. So it's really important to make sure you're not losing muscle while you're losing fat. And so that's why I always talk about getting protein in. Hello. Come on, Zig. Not today. I always talk about getting protein in. I do not support protein fasting and FGF21 and any of those diets that restrict protein down to nothing. You're going to lose a lot of muscle mass with those. And that's really detrimental to your overall health and your metabolic health. Your muscles are metabolic drivers. They're also your glycogen store, your main glycogen storage. And it's really important to have lean tissue for a lot of reasons. Pro-metabolic, pro-testosterone, pro-thyroid, everything. So I like to get in protein. I get in more than the average probably. I wouldn't guess I'm over 100 grams a day, but it's close probably. So every morning I wake up, or every morning when I have breakfast, I'm having some amount of protein now. I do have a protein powder that I'm using. It's just whey protein isolate. I do get that most days. I am using creatine most days as well, or all days actually now. And I do believe that helps with just about everything. I think creatine is a pretty really safe and really helpful supplement. So everybody could be on it. Women could benefit from it for sure, for helping with muscle sparing and all sorts of things. So I usually do that in just juice with a little, hand mixer. I'll just mix up 1 scoop of protein with creatine in juice, and then I'll have my breakfast. And it's always a big thing of starch. Sometimes I do rice and chicken every morning. So I'm getting so I'm just getting so used to that meal. I love that meal. Every morning or every time I eat it, it's like so satisfying to me. I'm one of those people that could eat the same thing over and over and over again for a long time. We'll swim on the way back. Come on, let's go for a walk. Come on. Not yet. Too early. Come on. Let's walk. So yeah, a lot of times I'll just do chicken and rice. 1 cup of rice, 1 cup of dried rice. That's 3 cups of cooked rice. And then it's usually about three small chicken thighs I do, boneless, skinless. And so probably close to 800, 900 calories, something like that, plus the juice. So maybe close to 1,000 calories. And that'll be my meal 1. And then I'll go about my day and do my stuff. And I don't do anything really snacky wise when I'm going about my day. But if I do feel, there's also another thing that'll happen is you will start feeling empty stomachs. Like your stuff will metabolize and digest so fast, you'll start feeling this empty stomach feeling where it's like, I need to put something back in my stomach. There's literally nothing. It's like concaving in on itself. Like hungry. Your hunger signals start coming back crazy, and your digestive system starts working overtime to it's like, I'm hungry. Give me that stuff. So those are good cravings to listen to. And so whenever that happens, I always just go more coconut water, more sugar. Sometimes I'll just do fruit. I've been getting into bananas, which for the longest time, bananas did not make me feel well. Now they're fine. And I actually enjoy them because they're kind of like a denser fruit. I don't really love watery fruits so much. So I really do like bananas. I have dates often now too. Dates are great. They're just a little too sugary for me, but I don't know. But I put them in the refrigerator, and cold dates are much better than warm dates. They're like harder to, they're more like candy. They have a better chew to them. Or I'll do a whole melon or half a melon with some added sugar. That's kind of all I do for fruit anymore. Those three. Unless it's like somebody has some fruit laying around or whatever. I don't really buy anything else for myself. So I'll do that in between. So I eat 2 big meals a day. And then I'll do more of sugar during the in-between times. Dinner I'll have whatever. It's so hard to tell what I'm gonna have for dinner. If it's just me, it's always rice. It's always rice and a protein. I've been doing rice and cod and rice and chicken, of course. I haven't done any real beef or anything in a while, but I did rice and ground beef or ground bison the other day, and it was really good. I love bison. It's much more gamey flavored, like more beefy, robust flavor, even though it's not beef. And I've been adding a bone broth, the Honest Kitchen chicken bone broth, to my rice as the fluid for my rice cooker, and that adds so much more flavor too. So I do that. Sometimes I do squash and potatoes or sweet potatoes, but I usually just stick to rice or rice and squash or something. And so yeah, that's my day. And then at night I'll just snack on whatever. Or so if I'm not doing my dinner, then it's whatever else everybody else is eating and I'm partaking. So that could be very different depending. Go on, Zeke. And that it just varies for, like everybody made burritos with shredded chicken and avocado and whatever, all the fixings, cilantro and all the things, so and rice and beans. And I just rolled a huge burrito the other night, and that was great. And then yeah, for like in between at night, man, there's people and dogs everywhere. It's because it's beautiful out. Hello. Ziggy, be a good boy. Good boy. All right, come on. Hey, no, hey. Let's not play right here, huh? Ziggy, no, hey. Good boy. It's a dangerous spot to be running around. You'll roll an ankle. I'll have to put you down. Ziggy, no, hey, stay. Good boy. Good boy. All right. Yeah, midnight, it's more just whatever. Of the same things. I bought those, what I showed you at, at Costco, those little fruit, I don't know, candy things. I eat those a lot right now. Yeah, whatever, just sugar and stuff. Sometimes I'm even eating a little bit of ice cream again, like Haagen-Dazs, just the normal stuff with all the good stuff, eggs, cream. I'm finding things don't really mess with me right now, so that's amazing. But I'm just not overdoing it. And okay, so that's it for what I do in the typical day. I also take vitamin D3, 10,000 IU every single day. I take vitamin K2, MK4, 5 milligrams every single day, which is a very big dose. But I could even go higher. I would maybe go higher, finding them very beneficial. And I take zinc L-carnosine every day. I take iodine, 150 micrograms every day. I take some selenium with trace minerals every day. And I've been taking mastic gum in the morning. See, come here. Come here, on an empty stomach. That's cool. It just seems to help with, I don't know, clearing out my stomach for the food. I don't know, it's like a palate cleanser almost. They use it for things like H. pylori and stomach bugs. And I'm being very careful to keep my stomach bugs and my gut bugs in check. So I've been doing a little tiny bit of coconut oil every day. I'll do activated charcoal maybe once a week. Not much, just 2 caps worth. And then I've been doing the mastic gum every morning on an empty stomach. Or not really empty stomach, just with my first morning juice. And that's it that I've been doing for gut bug clearing stuff. So you can kind of get a feel for how I personally tailor my diet. It's already at 21 minutes. Holy shit, this is gonna be a long one. But everybody's different, and I really don't care how you tailor your diet. There's gonna be some things. Howdy. There's gonna be some things that I definitely want everybody to do. Of course, my book is a great resource for just like how to get started, but for more of like structuring it, I do think multiple times with some amount of protein is better than no protein all the way during the day and then just one meal at night. Because protein synthesis happens all the time. You don't just trigger it once a day and it's fine. You know, eating 50 to 70 grams of protein in one sitting is never better. So breaking it down to 20 gram increments or 30 gram increments, doing it twice to 3 times a day, I think is preferable. Of course, I say whatever's in the carbohydrates is okay, but I prefer more bioavailable animal product protein over plant protein. So I'm not going to make a definitive say that everybody has to do that, but that's what I prefer. And I would think people would benefit more from that. I do think starch over sugar for satiation, for energy, for digestibility, all sorts of things for fiber content to help feed the bugs, all sorts of benefits over just simple sugars.
Well, maybe we should be intentional about it when we're probably.
I feel like starch and glucose is the base of this diet. The energy base, it's what's there to start really ramping up the metabolism and fuel you long term. The sugar is more like an accompaniment and like a supplement almost, like it tops it off and makes sure that you're always having energy and always topped off those cells, and making sure that you're never too low. And it also feeds your liver and with the fructose and things like that. So I'm not a sugar-based being in the sense that I am eating mostly sugar throughout my day. I am a starch-based. Although if you broke it down by macros, it'd probably be closer to 50. Yeah, probably not, because my rice is pretty high intake. But it's probably like 60-40 or something like that. Simple sugars to complex carbs. But I do feel like people will do better on that long term than they will with high sugar content. There's just a lot of problems with just a high sugar content without any real like sustenance to back it up. And that's again with protein too. The lower the protein you go, the more things can go wrong and the more you might feel like you're suffering. So so be cognizant of that when you're putting together your meals. Don't hit too many just sugar meals in a row. I feel like I hear the most people that are having the issues with a lot of things are doing stringing sugar diet or sugar fasting basically, or just sugar meals many times in a row, and then maybe having one starch meal at night to cap it off and stuff. Try putting more towards the beginning. and see if your energy improves, and your metabolic rate, your body heat improves, things like that. I find that it will for most people. Not to say you can't do it on a mostly sweet, sugary diet. You probably have to be in the tropics, but that's something. It's something. Really cool spot. And that's kind of it. I think it's all very individual. I think the biggest problem will be meal timing, or like starch versus sugar timing, and partitioning your protein. But it's not that complicated. You can watch my low residue diet video for all the the hierarchy of what I think for proteins and starches and carbohydrates, and start with those, work with those, and then do whatever you want as well. If there's something else you like better, do that. But just be really intuitive and cognizant of how your body's reacting to things, and try to troubleshoot. So try to think about, if you're feeling cold all morning, that would most likely mean you're doing too many fluids, too many watery fruits, not enough dense carbohydrates, whether that be sugar or starch, just not enough of them, and the water content is making you cold. It's literally bringing down your basal temperature, and your body is working harder to try to bring it back up. It's also diluting electrolytes. Come on, Zig. Come on, Zig. Good boy. It's also diluting electrolytes, which are our body's, come on. Ziggy, come on. Hey. I'm leaving, come on. Hey. There you are. I know, you want to go swimming. We'll swim on the way back. Yeah, it's our body's electric signaling, and when you wash it out, and you over dilute, you just can't. You won't have as much electrical impulses going on in your body, and you just will feel weaker, colder. Excuse me, weaker, colder, less energy, things like that. And don't skimp on the sodium either. Sodium is very important. I add it to everything. One thing I like to talk about is when people are like, oh, sodium's bad for you. Japanese and Chinese cultures regularly get maybe like 3 to 5 times more sodium than the average American or westernized culture, and they're unanimously healthier than us in pretty much every way. And so sodium is not the cause, or not the enemy. It's usually how it's packaged and what form it's taking. But simple sodium chloride is extremely important for our health, and so make sure to get enough of it. If ever you're feeling cold, could be that as well. Conversely, of course, if you underdo that and you feel dehydrated, lower the sodium a bit, up the fluids a bit, things like that. So, all right, I'm gonna stop before it hits 30. Another dog. Stop before it hits 30. I'll talk to you later.